G'day guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to change the cluster on the Starlet. So basically the objective is swapping up the old live sort of cluster from the Starlet and replace it with a Paseo or Paseo, something like that. Basically we want to have the tacho here because I don't want to bash the limiter every time I change gear, and which is actually what I need to do now. I've seen a few videos on the internet, but most of them don't really have the details, so I figure out that I'm gonna just do this quick video and show all the details about swapping cluster in the Starlet, and hopefully it will work for other cars as well, I guess. So the main thing is, first you gotta open the whole dash here, take this one out first. Then you got those two trim pieces that come out, and they're just to free up some space. Now I see some people taking out the steering wheel. Actually, you don't need to do that. And then you unscrew this one, take out the whole iron sort of casing, then unscrew the whole cluster, and then here's the tricky part. So the first thing will be to remove those three connectors. Now those are connected to the cluster by just really this little clippy thing. You just need to reach to the back and with your finger try to press and push at the same time. It's fairly easy to locate, so just try to press everywhere because you can't see behind. That's the only challenge. And you just press on top and push at the same time, so they should all snap out. Now the most challenging one is probably the center one, just because it doesn't have much to flex, so it tends to be a little bit harder. But then again, just with one finger you should be able to press, push, and they will come out. Now the other sort of tricky thing is that you have to release the speedo cable from the gearbox, and this is the part where people don't really have a clue because there's no details about it. So the other thing is this is sticking to the speedo with this little clip. So once that's done, you just press in here and it pops right off. So let's have a look in the engine bay how you can unplug that. All right, so getting into the engine bay, the first thing will be to remove unless you're already done it, but it will be to remove the resonator here in the intake, because otherwise you really have no room to work around that. So which is this one, and it's actually very tricky because the little clip that is here, it's facing on the other side, so it's kind of tricky to unclip it. You just need to go little by little, make it loose, and then eventually it pops right off. And while you're at it, you can actually get probably a, we got a sample green here from Bullies, a cap, and you should be able to screw it right in and just remove the resonator entirely. Got this casing. The thing right there, you see the hole, that hole there, it's just the one for the speedo cable. So this is the speedo cable. So what you want to do, you want to reach the top end here and screw it and start unscrewing it, and it should come right off. Just spray a bit of WD-40 just to let it rest for 20 minutes or so, and then just unscrew it from here, pressing from here, and it came right off. So the only thing you need to make sure you don't snap it off, because otherwise it's going to be a problem. So make sure you actually spray enough WD-40 so it's not stuck. And then once you push the one out, you unscrew it, push it up through this hole. So you need to put it on little by little, so you're gonna push it inside like that a bit, go inside the car, pull it a little bit, come back here, push it inside a bit more, and then you should have enough room to actually unplug it from there, and then that's how you take it out. Then you take the casing out, it's just really those clips, and take the casing out just really through those clips. It's very, very easy. And then here you got it. And then the other thing is I've also replaced the usual LEDs that are green, like those ones inside that I've just taken out. So they got a little sock here that makes it green. It's kind of a crappy green, if you know what I'm talking about. I replaced it with red LEDs, which look pretty cool actually. So the whole thing is going to be red. And it's also worth replacing if you actually have any broken bulbs or things like that. So it all goes together at the same time. So they just unscrew from the back and it goes right in like that. And you're pretty much ready to go and put it back inside. Rotate it and that's it. So the next step would be actually to swap some of the pins inside those connectors. And the first step would be to remove just, let me adjust the camera a bit better. Just to remove this white part first. So slide it out like that.
"2,000 years later."
You actually need to slide it from the bottom. So push it a little bit, pull this one and push this one down. Yep. And do the same thing for the other connectors. So still this one and this one. So once that's out, we can actually swap some of the pins. And I just got a guide here off the internet which I'll sign just based off this one. And once that's done, we should be pretty much ready to plug and play with the new cluster. So I'm just gonna do that now. I'm just not gonna go through the process because it's very boring and just really swapping something from here to here and vice versa. So another thing that I would suggest is probably take a photo of this just in case you mess it up so you know how it was set up initially. That's what I'm gonna do right now. Alright, so these things to take out are a pain in the ass, and I actually broke one because you need to push them from both sides and push them down, which is kind of hard because they're really thin and it was driving me mental. So what you need to do, I figure out, you need to go in this space in the middle and push down with a little flat blade screwdriver. Keep pushing down and then do one side after each other, otherwise they will just pop right back up and it's going to drive you mental. Like, once you remove all those white tabs, basically you just need to push here in the middle. Bloody autofocus doesn't work. Anyway, push here in the middle and slide back and it should come right off like this one. And then you just need to push it back in and it should snap in. So I decided to polish this little plastic trim just because it tends to be a bit hazy here. So I got this product, it works very well. And already removed most of it, but it's a bit stubborn here. So I'm gonna try to use my drill and with a little polishing tip and see if we can remove this. Alright, so it came out pretty nicely, actually quite perfect. Alright guys, just a quick update. So the cluster is finally in, it's all working and it's all good. The bad news is it's a bit more complicated than I thought. I couldn't actually do it myself and I had to bring it to auto electrician and he figured it out. It also took him like 3 weeks because he was doing it in spare time. So it's actually quite more complicated than a repin. There was a lot of welding and cutting and rewiring that yeah, you need to be an electrician, or you need to do at least know what to do, which I didn't. So yeah, it is possible to make it work, but in this case, so we're talking about this 98 Australian spec Starlet and 97 Paseo cluster. Yeah, it's a lot complicated. So the main thing is also that the Paseo cluster was wired all in negative and the Starlet was in positive. So I can't get too technical into that because I don't know, but basically it involves a bit more rewiring things to make it work properly. So yeah, then again, it's not just a repin work, at least in this case. And then every country and every Starlet model has it differently. So those like layouts they found on the internet, they rarely work because they're just very specific for that Starlet, that country. So my suggestion is it worth it? Well, for me, yes, because I really hate not having a tacho, and it just takes away from driving a manual particularly. So I would say still do it. It cost me about, yeah, 350 bucks in total. Looks great. But yeah, it's not a simple job, at least in my case. Also, as you can see, I broke the temperature gauge, and yeah, it shows that it's very, very cold here in Canberra, but the rest is all working. Everything's working correctly, all the lights. Now, as I mentioned, I have red LEDs, high beams and everything. So the only thing that I don't have is the low fuel light, which the Starlet doesn't have, so there's no signal at all, even if we try to connect it. And also we have an airbag here, but the Paseo didn't have it, although the Paseo had the ABS and this one doesn't have it. So we, for legal reason, we rewired the ABS, the ABS light to the airbag, so it shows up when you turn it on. There you go. And that way it just shows that it's working, it's connected, and that's legal if you need to do radio, things like that. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. This is it for today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get into the technical side of things that's possible, and it looks great, to be honest. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.